Hunan chili sauce. Unlike the previous chili sauce I made, which is from Sichuan province, this one is from Hunan, and it's also an area where people eat lots of chilies. And for this chili sauce, we will need lots of chilies. Here's about 500 grams of chili. The tiny chili is super spicy. I bought different kinds of chili. Some of them are Thai chilies, a bit smaller in size, which is really spicy, and some of them are a bit bigger, so it's more juicy. And we're gonna use these babies to make our chopped chili sauce. And I have washed those under running water. You can see there's still a bit of water on them, so we need to totally dry them before we can make the chili sauce. So we need to find a sunny spot at home, so it's room temperature and filled with sun. We're gonna sun dry our chilies, and just put our chilies onto this kitchen towel. It also absorbs some of the fluid from our chili, and we dry this for a day or two, depends on how hot the temperature and how moist the air is. And we have to completely dry them, otherwise the chili sauce will go bad quickly, because it's like a fermented chili sauce, which is very interesting. That's another reason why we have to keep everything clean without fat and grease. So let's dry them. Here's those tiny chilies, which are really spicy. I think on this diagram, it's this one. Have it? But it's this kind of small chili one, and also have a little bit of this cayenne. So I mix these two, and I only use red chili only because it will turn out the color a bit better. And we have washed them and dried them under the sun for 2 days. You don't really want to dry them, make them like dry chili, but you want to make sure there's no excessive water on it, and just clean and nice. I actually left this on the table today when I was working on the dining table, and it smelled so strong, and I just feel like my nose were smoking because they are super hot. And we're gonna use these chilies to make our chili sauce. That's why I have a special tool for making this chili sauce, which is some gloves. So you will also need these kind of plastic gloves just to protect your hands. And also because I cut my fingers yesterday, I'm sure if I just do this without wearing gloves, my fingers will burn. But if you don't mind to have a bit burning sensation on your hands, you can also use bare hand, but afterward you have to wash your hands with a bit of liquor. So maybe vodka or any kind of liquor, which will reduce the burning sensation and just make it a little bit nicer afterward. So we're gonna separate these. So I have some really fresh and large chilies, and it's super nice. What we need to do is to remove those green bits because we don't need these in our chili sauce. So I will do this, and we also have some a bit dry already. They don't look very pretty, so we're gonna separate those. And this, we could chop them, so leave them to a bit larger sizes, which will look really good in our sauce later. And those a bit uglier pieces, we're gonna use a blender to blend it, to make it more like a sauce. So we're gonna mix these both together. So you would want about half and half. So after 5 minutes, I'm a really fast worker. See, here are the big and nice chili. Here are the little bit smaller and uglier chilies. And we're going to make them later, just set aside. And for this chili sauce, we will also need lots of garlics and ginger. So I'm just going to work on both of them now. So for garlics, we just have to peel them and so clean them. And for ginger, you can, if you are a bit lazy, you can wash them and dry them as well and just cut them to small slices. Or you are a bit more hardworking like me, just going to remove the skin outside and cut them to thin slices too. So let's have a look. So the garlics. Here are about 3 whole garlics here. And ginger, about 250 gram gingers. Cleaned, the skins are gone, and cut to thin slices. Now we're gonna use our blender. So let's start with garlic. Now we are going to blend it. So they don't have to be really fine, because sometimes we want to taste our garlics in the chili sauce. We use a really clean, no water, no fat, just clean bowl. Go in. Now, next step, our ginger. Now it should be totally done. Then also go into our bowl. Ginger is good for us. One of the superfood. Okay. Now we're gonna blend our chili. Also put a couple of good ones. We want about half. Okay. Now let's blend our chili. Here are all the spicy, delicious chilies. And, could really smell it, really spicy. Now we still have half of the rest of the chilies. We are going to now just handwork to cut them to about 5 millimeter long, and so about this size. So we want to have a bit visual of the actual chilies in our sauce. And this sauce in Chinese is called duojiao, which is chopped chilies. So that's why it's always good to do a little bit of work on the chilies, just to chop them with a knife. Instead of using a blender, which is totally meshy and juicy. So we want to have a little bit bigger pieces in our sauce. So I'm gonna continue chop my chilies. Now after a bit of work, we have a bit of chopped chilies, a bit of blended chilies, a bit of ginger, and a bit of garlic. Now we just mix them all together. So at this stage, you better wear some gloves. Okay, just mix them all in. And here I have 50 grams of salt and about half tablespoon of sugar, rock sugar, and just put them all in. We use sugar and salt to ferment our chili and ginger. So mix them properly. You can also just put in salt, but sugar also balances the taste a bit and tastes better. Okay. When it's properly mixed, you can give it a bit of liquor. I only have cherry water, but you can. Original recipe is using rice liquor, but I can't get it in Germany. Any kind of strong alcohol would do. So we give it 1 tablespoon. This process just to prevent our chili sauce getting bad when we are fermenting it. Here I also prepared 2 containers. So this one you could seal it properly, and this one is from applesauce, and we're gonna use both just to show you how to do this in 2 different containers. So now we just put in. So they both have to be cleaned properly, and make sure there's no fat and water in it, and we just dry it under the sun. Make sure it's totally clean. Now you can see, luckily I fill in both of the containers full. And now we need to do a very important process, which is we'll need some fresh oil. So here I'm using sunflower oil. You can also use other vegetable oils, but it has to be fresh, so it's not cooked. This process is to seal it without any air in our container. So just put in enough to cover the top. See, I'm doing this one. Okay. Just enough to seal the top. Now for this professional sealable container, we could just close it. And that's ready. And for this one, we will need a bit of foil. Say, just large enough to cover the opening. Okay. And then closing it properly. Okay. Now we're finished. These 2 going to live in a room temperature for at least 2 days, and then after that put in the fridge, and then it's done. We can use this chili sauce. See how pretty they are. A bit of sauce on the bottom, and here you can see filled with garlics and chili, and and how do we use them. And there is a really famous Hunan dish. It's steamed fish. Use duojiao, which is this kind of sauce. And I was looking everywhere in Karlsruhe, in all the Indian, Asian, Korean, whatever supermarket, and I can't find this kind of chili sauce. And we need these for our steamed fish. So hopefully after 2 days, I'll show you how to use this chili sauce for a delicious fish dish. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and leave your comments below. If you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thanks for watching.